Hesh Sagafi, Liberty Home Mortgage. This topic right now, why is there so much paperwork? Okay, so if you're looking to buy a home, here's something that you want to prepare for. One of the things, amongst others, okay, is the amount of paperwork we ask for, okay? Now, why do we ask for so much paperwork? We ask for so much paperwork because we're looking at your financials, we're looking at your assets, and we're looking at your credit history, okay? Let's look at those three things independently. Your financials, that means your pay stubs, your W-2s, your tax returns. Think about your pay stubs, think about your work schedule, okay? There's a lot more people than you think that don't just work 40 hours every single week. There's people who work 40-hour jobs, but then they miss, you know, this week they worked 30 hours, and last week they worked 36 hours. And I'm looking at their pay stubs, and I'm sitting here saying, wait a second, you said you work full-time and you work 40 hours a week, but why do your last three pay stubs show 32 hours, 36 hours? Or it's your pay stubs show 40 and 40, but your year-to-date gross, like for example, you're based on your hourly wage, like let's just say it's $20 an hour, and you work 40 hours a week. Generally speaking, that's like $3,700 a month. And through 10 months, just making simple math, 10 months at $3,700, your year-to-date gross should be $37,000. Your year-to-date gross on the pay stub is $31,000. So I'm looking at a pay stub that shows 40 hours worked, year-to-date gross is $31,000, and I'm doing all my calculations because we have formulas that we do to see if what you're telling us is accurate and if the information we've received from other places is accurate. So suddenly, I'm looking at your gross and it's 31,000, it should be 37. Your pay stub shows 40. I come to you and say, hey, are you working? Like the numbers don't match. Did you have time off? Did you miss time? Did you just start the job? Who knows, 1,000 things. And then you're sitting here saying, well, as a matter of fact, I missed 2 months of work. And I'm like, okay, this is not good. When did you miss the 2 months? Why did you miss 2 months? How long have you been with this employer? And then it turns into how long have you been with your past employer? And then the next thing you know, we get into this big just snowball of a mess. And this is the reason why. So, you know, if you work a lot of overtime or you get bonuses and commissions, I'm going to ask for your pay stubs, your last pay stub from 2 years ago and your last pay stub from last year, your two most recent pay stubs now, and I'm going to compare all of that stuff. And you're sitting here saying, oh my God, they're asking me for all this paperwork. Now, a difference between great loan officers, such as ones that wear the coolest t-shirts ever made, and everybody else who does mortgage loans is most loan officers just look at the pay, they just talk to you, hey, you work 40 hours, it's like this, we're good to go, let's go. Then the loan gets into underwriting, okay? The underwriter is the actual individual who sits in a cubicle, in their house, in their bedroom, in an office. Now, all of the underwriters will get upset with me like, Hesh, my God, you make us sound horrible. But the fact of the matter is they go through this thing with a fine-tooth comb, and they go over every single line. The problem is they're not looking at your information until you're about 10 or 15 days away from closing. Let's just say 15 days away from closing. And all of a sudden, you were pre-approved 2 months ago. The loan officer said everything's fine. You find the house of your dreams. You get into contract. The next thing you know, 10 days before closing, a bomb hits, and they come back with a series of questions of what's going on, what's happening, why is this like this? So then we start asking for more paperwork. We look at your bank statements, okay? We look at your credit history. When I'm looking at your bank statements and I see deposits from a month ago that are cash ATM deposits, I'm gonna ask where that money came from. When I look at your credit history and I see that you had a repossessed car, a bankruptcy, a collection, or you'd modified a loan, you had a mortgage and you did a mortgage modification, you did a COVID forbearance, I need the paperwork on the forbearance. So like it's ultimately, you provide something and it's entirely possible that that document, when it gets reviewed, opens up another 10 questions. It absolutely pisses people off. And yes, I said that, it pisses people off. People will say, Hesh, you just asked for one more pay stub and now you want 6 more things. Sure, because that one document you provided opened up a series of questions that I need 10 more things. That is why we ask for so much paperwork. But you've got to keep watching all these videos. I got a ton of them out there, and trust me, they're all good and they all work, and you'll catch me at the next one. Make sure to subscribe to my page, tell your friends, share it, write it on walls and things like that. I'll talk to you at the next one.